Hey guys, Anthony here. It is Sunday, January 9th, 2022. I'm out and about this morning in the van. I've got to run a couple errands. I just thought I would do a video update and let you guys know the status of a few things that have been going on. I know I haven't posted an update video in a while. First and foremost, hold on, I've got the ham radio on. Let me shut that down. First and foremost, my wife is still recovering. Barbie, she's doing fantastic, I believe. She's still on oxygen. She's down to under 3 liters, but she can go. She is able to remove the oxygen, do some walking around, take a bath, a shower, whatever, put on makeup, even go to the stove, do some cooking, and then when she feels she needs it, she puts it back on again. So I've contacted the oxygen company and asked them the next steps, because we were interested in getting her qualified for the pulse oxygen that you can carry with you on your shoulder, but you have to qualify for that. So Atrium Health got back to me last week and said our doctor has to send a fax requesting a pulmonology, I guess it's a pulmonology test, where you go to the office, they test you on and off oxygen on the pulse machine, and then they test your sat levels. If your saturation levels are in accordance to what they meets their guidelines, then you qualify for that unit. So we're hoping to get that hopefully before the end of January, going into February. So if we wanted to travel, and do some things and go out, because she really hasn't been out at all since September. So that's one of the things we're hoping that we get done. So overall, I guess it's a miracle that she's made it this far. And I want to do a separate video, hopefully with her, if she volunteers to do it. Maybe off camera, I could just talk to her off camera and have her voice on. But all the miracles that we've seen to date in her case, because others like her have passed away that had similar things happen to them, with their lungs being hit so hard by the Delta variant. So that'll be a separate video, but she's doing fine. She's doing great. Has a few issues with the cough still. She has a lot of issues with hair falling out, so we don't know if that was due to radiation she had back in 2020, or just related to COVID and stress on the body. All the medications she was all the medications she was prescribed, we don't know. So, I mean, that's minor to me. The cough, yeah, it's she has that nagging cough that could go on for months. But me and her and my family want to thank each and every one of you for lifting her up in prayer, because we firmly believe that we saw miracles. And again, I'll discuss those further detail, the specifics on that. And so just thank you from the bottom of our hearts for lifting her up and my family up in your prayers, because they were answered. And then secondly, it's been, I think you guys knew that I took family medical leave when my wife got sick. I had to take family medical leave. Some of the requirements for family medical leave, if you qualify, which I did, you get up to 12 weeks unpaid leave, which I have exhausted as of tomorrow, January 10th. So let me backtrack a minute. Back in 2020, I had to take 7 weeks family medical leave. At the time, I didn't know how long it was going to be. but it ended up being 7 weeks. And that was for my wife's brain tumor radiation up in Washington, D.C. area, where, as you know, if you followed my channel, that when we got up there to start the radiation treatments, the lockdowns hit. And so we were on lockdown the whole time she was there for radiation treatments. We had a pass to get to and from the hospital in case we were stopped on the streets, which we didn't need, but we had it anyway from Johns Hopkins Hospital. And so I took 7 weeks off from work. And so when we returned back at the end of April of 2020, and I, went to go back to work, the company that I work for replaced my position. So there's rules under family medical leave where you can, I guess, as long as you come back to a job similar or like what you were doing, the company has the right to do certain things. And I understand that because I have done family medical leave with employees under me for many, many years now. I've been been in business over 35 years, so I'm a little bit familiar with it. But I was a little taken back that I was demoted, but my salary was kept intact. I guess the law stated, you can't touch your salary. And so that was back in April of 2020. And so it ended up working out for the better. But at the time, I was kind of upset that they would do that to me, replace my position, running the entire portfolio of accounts, that I was doing a good job, or thought I was doing a good job. They made up some stories that I wasn't, but that's a whole nother issue. So fast forward to now, I contacted Human Resources, letting them know that my leave was expired. I knew my 12 weeks family medical leave was expired, and I asked them if I could remain off longer, not under family medical leave, but under that my wife still is disabled, basically, and I'm not comfortable, and the doctors have talked with me, or caseworkers have talked with me about leaving the house to go work. Right now, or my current job, I work within a few miles from my house. So I said, if I'm available to do that, but I would like to still take some more weeks off to make sure that my wife is even more healed, and then go back to work. So they denied, long story short, they denied that request, which I think I still had a case for Families, Americans with Disabilities Act, but whatever. So they wrote me back an email and said, we can't give you any more leave. You've exhausted your family medical leave. If you don't come back on Monday, January 10th, let us know, whatever. And then there's a caveat they put in. Oh, and by the way, we're moving you to another zone. This zone, they offered me 2 other zones, not touching my salary, but that's neither here nor there. But one of the zones is about 15 to 20 miles away. The other zone is like 20 to 40 miles away, depending on what buildings, what areas I'm servicing. And I wrote them back and I said, listen, first of all, my job that I had prior to leaving was within a few miles from my house. That's what I was doing. That's what you gave me 2 years ago, back in 2020, when you demoted me and you moved me. So now you're doing it again to me. I said, does the company do this to everyone that comes back from FMLA? Do they get moved around or jerked around with? Now, granted, they said they weren't touching my salary. So I emailed them back and I said, listen, I'm dead serious. I cannot be that distance away from my wife. And by the way, I'm willing to take lesser salary. That's how serious it is. So I'm volunteering to take less pay to stay in the zone that you put me in, demoted me to 2 years ago. Now you want to move me again. And so they never got back to me as of today, which is Sunday. So tomorrow I'm supposed to go back to work. So basically I'm resigning from work. They haven't contacted me, which probably means they're going to terminate my position as of tomorrow. So I'm on my way today to get a few things, personal effects from my office. Tomorrow I'll clean my computer and phone out, and I'll deliver that up. But so basically I'm unemployed as of tomorrow, January 10th. I've been out of work without pay for 12 weeks, which hasn't been easy. My wife can't work. she's out on disability. But God is good, and I know there'll be a breakthrough. I have been applying the last couple of days to various positions, and I know I'll get something. But I've got to be a little bit picky because of the situation that I'm in. I'm limited to how far I could commute and where I could go. So I'm limited to. I've got to stay in the area that I live in for my wife's sake. So I may have to take something that maybe is not related to what I'm used to doing. Now, those of you that know me know I've ran huge portfolios in the janitorial operations and other related services, both for janitorial contractors, some of the biggest in the country, over my 35 years experience. One of them being at University of Miami back in the early 2000s, where I had just under 500 employees, multiple campuses, 2 hospitals on campus, where we serviced the University of Miami in total, housekeeping, grounds, moving services, some maintenance work, some painting. So a lot of those employees came through the company I worked for. The trash removal came through us. So we were the largest employer at the time, one of the largest employers in Coral Gables, Florida at the time, when I was in control of that account. And then I graduated or moved up to physical plant assistant director up at another large university, Nova Southeastern University in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, where I oversaw for the campus, for the university, multiple contracts. One of them being a $10 million housekeeping contract, very large waste management services contracts at all the campuses, including Puerto Rico, a large moving service or event setup services on the campus contracts, all the plants, services for all the buildings, for all the indoor plants, all the uniforms, all the matting for the campus with the logos on. So you name it, I've done a lot in my career, spanning from New York City, where I started, all the way to Miami, Florida, and everything in between, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, where I ran some of the largest buildings in Pittsburgh. I have a great reputation in the industry for over 35 years, and I've done just about everything, including sales, operations, mostly is what I've done. I'm familiar with a lot of union contracts, which I worked under, non-union contracts. So I bring a lot to the table, I believe, and at 58 years old, going on 59, I'm still a young, 59-year-old. I could do just as good as people half my age, both physically and mentally. And so I'm very confident I'll get a position, but again, I have to be picky. So I may have to take something that I'm not used to, let's put it that way. So that's where I am right now, unemployed. And but again, like I said, Yah is good, and I know I already know that I'll get a job, so I'm not concerned about that. So that's the update I wanted to give you guys this morning. So if you want to continue praying, I appreciate it. Pray that I'll find a job in short order and get back to work in something close to the house, and then we'll take it from there. But we've even contemplated, leaving this area and going to another area of the country. However, at this point, with my wife's health, I'm not too keen on doing that right now. But that's on the table as well. So wherever Yah leads us, we will go. And so I'm grateful for Him sustaining us, not just here, but throughout my wife's sickness, from the brain tumor surgery from 2015 all the way through now. We've been carried along, if you will, and it's just a miracle when you look back at where you were, what He's took you through, what you've been through, and just a great testimony we have to give others to uplift them. If nothing else, it's definitely a great testimony, and maybe one day we'll do some videos on that. I think YouTube would really like that. So thank you for watching. Please comment down below. Again, right now we're in the Charlotte, North Carolina. I say Charlotte, North Carolina, because everyone knows, downtown Charlotte. It's actually south of Charlotte. If you're familiar with Fort Mill, South Carolina, it's just outside of Charlotte. So that whole region, I'm in the region very close to Charlotte, which I've done a lot of work in Charlotte, and even north of Charlotte, up into the mountains, into the Boone area. So I'm familiar with Charlotte, but now I've got to work closer to the Fort Mill, South Carolina area to stay close to my wife. So I'll be able to check on her at a moment's, at a brief notice. So thank you guys. Questions, comments, please feel free to share anything. But thanks again. Stay ready, and more videos to come. Anthony signing off.